Okay, it's the grade 11 term 2 tutorial, and there's a lot of stuff in this tutorial, a lot of different topics, and then we're going to start off with solving quadratics. So let's take a look. Well, here's a question here. What do we got to do? And I didn't put the marks here, but you can kind of tell by the marks when you get a few more marks, you might have to use the quadratic formula. But this one, I don't think it is. It's only 3 marks or something like that. So you multiply. X times 6x is 6x squared. And x times 13 is 13x. You subtract 5 from both sides and you make it equal 0. You always put a quadratic equation in standard form. Make it equal 0. ax squared bx plus c. Now this one factors nicely. It's not super easy maybe because you could have put 1x and 6x, but with 2x and 3x, then you're locked into putting 5 and 1. It has to be plus and minus. Hey, it looks pretty positive here, so 5 times 3x gives me 15x minus 2x. Oh, that works. And so what is going to make this equal to 0? There's 2 different things. 1 over 3 times 3. You can always go that over that and change the sign. 5 over 2 and change the sign to minus 5 halves, and that will make that part equal to 0. Now say you had a brain freeze and you couldn't factor this thing. If you use the quadratic formula and b is 13 and a is 6 and c is minus 5, there's your over 2a minus b, and then you put it in the quadratic formula, you would get these exact same answers. But you have to show your work with the quadratic formula to get those marks. Now this one, you can kind of look by the marks. You had to subtract 3 to make this work. A is 2, B is minus 6, and C is minus 3. And you stuff them in the quadratic formula. So it's negative B plus or minus B squared minus 4AC divided by 2A. And if you take minus 6 and you put it in your calculator and you square it, you'll get everything wrong, because your calculator thinks that you want to square 6 and then multiply it by negative 1. That's why when you use the quadratic formula, make sure you put a bracket when you put it in your calculator, or all the answers often will go crazy. But I put this in my calculator. I actually made that's 36. I know that's plus 24. Over 4, 6 plus, it's 3.43. The other one is minusing this root 60. I saw that 60. And there's my 2 answers. Negative 0.44, rounded off to the nearest hundredth, or positive 3.44. Well, there's the first 2 questions.